Hi everyone, John, the Drone Ranger of South Florida, back at you again. We're going to talk about a couple of things this time around. First thing I want to talk about is the DJI RC controller right here. Now, this is a cool little gadget. I really like it a lot. There's only one drawback. It doesn't control all the DJI or Mavic drones, just 2 or 3 of them. Second thing is, and you'll see this when I play the video here in a little while, unlike the smart controller that was the predecessor of this one here, the RC Pro is just a little bit different. And a lot of people have asked, including myself, asked the DJI service reps, why doesn't it have a microphone? I want to do voiceover as I'm flying, or if I'm doing a wedding or a real estate shoot. I want to be able to do voiceover without having to do it in post-edit. There are things you can do that are a little bit of a pain in the butt, unfortunately, and they're not really that great of an option. The first option, you have to get a microphone. I use these wireless microphones I got on Amazon. It works pretty well. Just plugs into the bottom of the RC controller, lapel mic here, and the sound isn't too bad. My major gripe, there's only 2 ways to do it. One is to use screen record mode. Now, screen record mode, if you're doing a personal video, it's fine. Unfortunately, as you'll see in the video, it records everything on the screen. The elevation, your satellites, it records everything. Now, if you're doing a wedding or real estate shoot of a house, your clients are not going to like seeing that. So, what do? Second option, they said, live streaming. Live streaming is a great option. However, the problem is with the RC Pro is when you put the apps on your RC Pro, it's almost impossible to copy and paste them to the transmission part of your settings. So as soon as you paste it on there, the whole screen for the live stream, including the start button, just disappears, which that kind of sucks. Anyway, let me show you the video, and you'll hear the sound quality, and you'll see what I'm talking about. For those of you who are not familiar with this, never tried it before, this is what it looks like. Am I on? Yes. Hey everyone, this is John, the Drone Ranger of South Florida. Well, today on this video, we're outside and I'm shooting from my drone. Obviously, since I have the controller here. Now, this segment of this video today is going to be like for people who have questions, like I've had questions about trying to record voiceover while you're in flight. Now, there are several methods to do this, and I have tried some of them, and it doesn't seem to really quite work. Now, here I have the DJI RC Pro. The only 2 ways they tell me that I can do voice record is do a screen record to get a voiceover. However, as you see, I have all this information here about what's going on with the drone, which, is fine unless you're doing a video or something that for a wedding or any other, like a real estate deal or anything that you want a voiceover for, but you don't need anything here. Now, of course, there's an aircraft. My area has a lot of aircraft traffic, so I always have to be careful. Fortunately, I'm only flying about 10 feet off the air right now. Anyway, so the other method is to live stream. Well, again, that's great if you use a phone or a tablet that you can copy and paste. The RC Pro, unfortunately, when you try to copy and paste for live stream, the screen pretty much disappears and the start button is gone. I've tried this several times and it's frustrating, and the people at DJI don't seem to be able to help me out with this. So, maybe we'll find some way to get around this, maybe not. Anyway, right now I'm going to end this recording and find out if the voice is actually usable. Okay, well, as you saw, and heard, the microphones work on the DJI RC Pro. However, you have to use the screen recording mode. A lot of clients aren't going to like that if you're doing weddings or real estate shoots, what have you. They're not going to like that when you're trying to do voiceover. So the only alternative, like I said in the video, live streaming. Unfortunately, on the RC Pro, live streaming is a little bit complicated. Very complicated, because if you try to put apps on this like YouTube or Facebook, you're not going to be able to bring up the link to put live stream up there. And even if you do manage to do so, once you switch over from copy and paste to the transmission screen to put on for live stream, the whole screen disappears once you touch it, including the start button. So all that is for naught. Believe me, I even tried typing it in by hand. You talk about a pain in the butt, and then not having it take and then the screen disappearing. Oh boy. So, alternative is buy DJI mic set, which are actually made for this kind of stuff. They have the microphone, they have the transmitter, and they have the little, I don't know, a little doohickey bag. I don't know what it's called. I'm not an expert at this. Apparently you plug it into your computer as you're doing your editing, and it syncs up the voiceover and sound, whatever you want on it as you're doing your flying, to the video that you're editing. Hey, that's pretty cool if you want to spend $300 or $400. Well, you know what? I guess I'm just going to have to do so, because that ain't going to work as far as the screen record goes. If you're doing private videos for yourself, it's not so bad, but clients aren't going to like it. Anyway, so I guess that's enough of that part of it for right now. Speaking of which, about as far as equipment goes, that's one of the things. I have a Gofundme page. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. I have the link here on the About section of my YouTube page. I have it on my Facebook page. I am trying to raise money to do more for the community and for my business, to expand my business. What I'm trying to achieve is to get a Mavic 3 for a little bit larger jobs, you know, tower inspections, things like that. Another laptop. This one here is fine, except it's only got the 1080p Windows 10 editing software. I've tried other ones like Lightworks and DaVinci and free versions. You do a 4K editing software program on here and it freezes it up. This laptop's about 5 or 6 years old, so it just can't handle it. So I need another laptop, an upgraded one with a faster graphics card. That's another thing I'm trying to do with the GoFundMe page. The ultimate goal, of course, is to get enough money to get that DJI Matrice 30. That thing's got thermal imaging, aerial mapping. It does everything. And unfortunately, the cost is like $14,000 to $15,000. It's kind of funny, because I talked to a couple of guys at the firehouses around the area, and I asked them if they needed a drone pilot and backup. They said sometimes they do have several things going on, and they might, if any of the thing, one or two might have had a drone pilot at their disposal. However, sometimes they're busy with multiple calls and they need somebody for search and rescue. That's where the thermal imaging comes in. If there's someone lost in the woods, if a roof's about to cave in or something like that, and they want to have somebody with a drone to fly up there to make sure it's safe, those kind of things, the thermal imaging, things like that, instead of sending the guys up, really helps save lives. But since I don't have that equipment, you know, they say, okay, well, we'll think of you, but it's going to have to be stuff that's not so complicated. Well, bummer, because I'd really like to be able to do stuff like that. And the aerial mapping also of properties for contractors, for developers and things like that, that'd be great. And even the tower inspections. There are some tower inspections, some of you commercial pilots know, microwave towers are the worst. They interfere with everything. So you have to get a good distance away to keep your drone working. That's where that DJI M30 comes in. It's got a 200 zoom on it. That's what the video says. Look it up on DJI. And something like that is fantastic. So, if y'all are inclined to, please, that'd be great. GoFundMe. I'm not sure if it's under my name or the Drone Ranger of South Florida, but the links are on Facebook and here on YouTube in the About section. The reason I'm doing that is because Banks are jerks, pretty much, as you all probably know. Sole proprietorships like mine, they don't want to finance. Don't ask me why. I think it's because they just don't trust us. They say your score isn't high enough. Well, you know what? I've looked at all 3 of my credit scores, and there's one that's a little bit low, but the other ones are well within the parameters of their loans, but they just don't want to do it. So the hell with them. I'm going with the GoFundMe. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it I got for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned. I will have more coming up. Oh, please subscribe and like, because the more subscribers I get, the faster I'll hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I'll be able to monetize things, so you'll be able to get to see commercials here. Won't that be fun? More commercials. But that's the only way I can get monetized. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell them, hey, look at this idiot on the Drone Ranger of South Florida. He's kind of funny, and if nothing else, he's a good tranquilizer to make you go to sleep if you got insomnia. So anyway, thanks guys. You all have a good evening. I'll see you next time.